This is just Amazon on Thursday, May 10th, 2018. We're zoomed out again. Really, really small candle, very small movement. This candle up here, the today's candle, the open and the close, less than $1 apart. This looks like the smallest candle since this one, or maybe this one. Both of these being bullish retest gaps. The difference being these were making new all-time highs. This one is still below a good resistance up here. So if you go back a little further, maybe something like this one was small too, but it looks a little different. I mean, you got a high wave candle today. Just really, really small one. Just a spinning doji. Not even high wave. I wouldn't even call it high wave. Just that kind of move. If we zoom out a ways, I mean, you'd have to go searching for some smaller ones, maybe down in this triangle, which would be interesting if it's related to another triangle. Something like that. Bullish engulfing, below resistance, something like that. Below the resistance. So we could see some selling come in, like this triangle made, and put in another bottom, another higher low, or lower low, or relative low, something like that. This would be interesting below another resistance here, but I mean, I just don't know where to place it. So if we look at all of that together, triangle here after a gap up, triangle here, and then we gapped up after the triangle. Just looking at the candles, trying to find something similar in the past to say, hey, it could do something like this again. So these were all-time highs. So, I mean, it could just keep going, but it should run into some resistance here and here. So this could become a larger channel, come back down into the area down here, could bounce off the 100, simple, things like that. So anyway, very small candle. So we're zoomed out again because we've just had a lot of chop since the big gap up for earnings. You just look at yesterday and today, it gapped up, formed this triangle here, broke down, came down right into support with these candles. Looked like it was getting ready to bounce with the Morningstar reversal, and then turn that into a double bottom, and then that actually got going bullish with a lot of bearish momentum, or dropping bearish momentum on the squeeze, and then actually rolled over through that support, retested yesterday's levels, and then had a really nice large high wave doji here. Similar location to where we were just chopping around for a good chunk of yesterday, and then rallied, and then just played out as another really large consolidation triangle here. So had you been, oops, didn't need to click that. Had you been looking at it during the day and thought, okay, this is another pullback, now it could really go. It consolidated, that's good. It's just got some of these small candles up here it needs to get above, so let's definitely get above here at the close, like 1614, with the stop down here at like 1611, and be good. And then this candle, and it's like, okay, throw a lower wick. Now we've broken down these lows, we've still held this one, so let's see what happens here. But this starts to look like a little bit more of a breakdown, especially after this kind of evening star. Then you get this spinning top candle right on a support. You really want to see this go really strongly bullish or break down soon. Another one, more pausing. Okay, a lot of selling coming in. That would be a retest back into this candle. Now if we're going to go lower, break down below this one, take it down to low here. It's going to be close to a 2-to-1. Especially with that squeeze forming. Triggered in on this candle, retest, and then very quickly comes right down here. So this would have been the candle to say, hey, that was my last chance to get going bullish. It didn't take it. You can wait till it gets up here, but where you can reverse the trade and say, okay, go bearish here, stop up here, or bullish here, stop down here, or down here. And bullish would not have triggered, bearish would have triggered, and then you're back in looking for the low of the day probably, or at least the 1607 level. And so, maybe held through this, thinking it's going to go lower. It doesn't. Your stop was here, you got stopped out, or your stop was up here, which would have been only break even after it got down to 2R. So that probably would have wanted to take off the profit after it got down to this one. Let's see. 1607 exactly, 1607.08 on this one. So hopefully you took out profits there. This starts to look like a double bottom. People are getting in, and then they got stopped out. So, and then like we said, the rest of it was just kind of chop. So very little to really go through and figure out how to make some money on it. Had you gotten in bearish on, so let me zoom in on the day here. You got in bearish on this candle. So let's say you bought at the last possible chance to buy. So at 10:05, let's go look at the put. If we look at the 1610 put, so you're near the money at 9. Sorry, I forgot what time I said. 10:05. There you go. So 10:05 was that candle. Okay, the high and the low are the same. 747. So maybe you had a trade to get in at 747 or 750 and a stop down here at 650 for $100, and then that just ran up to 11. I mean, that's a nice move. That's a really nice move. If we take a look back at, all right, so the put was, let's see, you're getting in on this candle, getting on this candle, and you're going to ride that up to here. So I guess you would have only gotten up to here, but still that would have been from 750 up to 950, possibly. You know, that's 2R. Had you held, the options actually moved pretty favorably. If you had bought down here, you know, would have come back down, it would have been up, you know, half an R, and then it would have rallied up to get you definitely to hit your target if you had, you know, 950 and for some reason didn't get filled, or 10 or 1050, you know, should have been filled up here down this area here. But that was about it. I mean, just kind of chopped around the rest of the day, totally chopped around on the calls, just consolidated all day. There wasn't really something solid to say, okay, get in here, get out there. You know, this was just some pausing, some consolidation. So I'm seeing definitely, you know, this bigger pattern that you have, you know, much bigger triangle. If we kind of squeeze the candles, we zoom back in on this, and we look at maybe the 30-minute. There you go. That's a nice consolidation there. You can see that a little bigger maybe. At the hourly, we haven't looked at these other time frames in a while either. Yeah, just some consolidation, just some pausing. Zoom out a little bit. That starts to look more like that cup and handle, a little more in the hourly retest. Now we're just going. But we got a lot, you know, a lot going on in this area here with what we shot up through and then retested. So we'll definitely see some resistance come in around 1650, 1664 if it ever gets back up there. It should. Don't know when. And then some resistance here at 1640s and all through the area that it's at now because of what consolidated here and then ended up breaking down during the day. But that's the level we're at. We're starting to contend with some of those things. There's going to be more people selling up here because it was an all-time high, so people will sell at it again. So look for these consolidations. Looks like we've got on the on the hourly a squeeze forming. Let's see. Let's go look at the 4-hour real quick. So a bit of a inverted head and shoulders. It's really big up here, but it's up here, especially if any of this is support. I like these candles, like that buying candle, low and lower wick that takes out some lows, then it bought back up, same 4 hours. Yeah, just sideways, just consolidating. So give it some more time. Look for it to, you know, continue to hold key levels and the exponentials to move in and to move up and get closer, and we'll see what ends up happening. So sorry, not much today. It's just because of how it was really range bound on the day. So we'll be back tomorrow with another look and see how the week wrapped up. This is just an Amazon.